Hello everyone. Welcome back to our not so regularly scheduled Rusty RP-1 playthrough. So we are, oh yes, we're launching these things to Mars in 154 days. How long did it take to build? 30 days? Oh, we got time to do other things. I guess we can do one more lunar landing. We'll do one more lunar landing first. Meanwhile, what's tech doing? All right, so we almost have human rated EDL. But that doesn't actually give us anything because it gives us big heat shields. Reet. All right, and so we'll take the contract right before departure because we want the full duration of the contract. All right, so let's see if I can land on the moon more competently this time. I'm going to duplicate this thing just in case, so I don't have to rebuild it. But I'm also going to spend some points on upgrades, I think. All right. Let's go. It's April, so we'll be launching Terminator. Hey Maximal, yeah, good to see you. Yeah, I'm streaming at a time when it is vaguely possible for the Euro contingent to watch. Right. Let's roll out. That's expensive, but expected. Because we can almost do it on a lighter pad, but not quite. Oh, I should take the mission, shouldn't I? Did I take the mission? Oh, no, you can only do it twice. Well, apparently we're doing this just... Oh, no, there it is. Okay, you can do it... doesn't say how many times. But anyway. Lunar landing uncrewed. Land on the moon. Yeah, okay, fine. Hey, come on. There we are. Today's plan is land on the moon. Hopefully better than the last few times I've tried to land on the moon. Oh, right, and I have a bunch of science, so I can unlock another node. I really am not paying attention. But let's spend... That's probably fine to leave as a cushion. Let's get a little more science. And we'll get one more point from unlocking something. What are we going to unlock? Well, we could unlock... a blue sky node. Right, that gives us one more upgrade point. Okay. It's going to save and launch. I wonder why my mouse is hitching. All right, now did this have staging problems or no? I think it didn't. I think we're good. Neat, 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 neat. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that all looks reasonable to me. Okay, so we're in PVG. We're going to go to 160 by 160. We want to launch into plane of target. That's fine. That's should be that. That's fine. That's fine. So we lost a day, but that's okay. Day launch, which means TLI will be in the dark, but oh well. Okay, and I'm going to put auto stage on. Now this is a proper rocket. Oh yeah, it didn't, launching into plane of target didn't actually update the inclination box. It used to, it always used to, it doesn't now. Interesting. But yeah, I will turn support hot staging on per Lamont's advice. Come on, mouse. Why is the mouse misbehaving? That's weird. is an interestingly aggressive pitchover, but probably right. Like, I trust it to be correct. Guidance engaged. You know, I really wish there were a pitch program duration thing here. These are LR-79s, your standard Thor lower stage engines, broadly equivalent to Atlas boosters. Yep. Yeah, I think I got through 3 of them, and then they got a little formulaic, and I stopped. But Harry Harrison is definitely a hit-or-miss dude. Okay. Whoa. Oh no. That stage delay was a bit long. Oh dear. Oh dear. Guess I should have hot staged or had less of a delay on staging. What delta V did we lose? We still have plenty for TLI, so who cares? Maximal, it's the very definition of not new sci-fi. Well, I mean, it's not like... It's not as not new as, say, the Holy Trinitive of Asimov, Clarke, and Heinlein, but it's also nowhere near new. It should be perfectly possible to go to do a crewed mission to the moon. Like, rollout costs are high, but contract payouts are also high. Lamont, I tend to think of that era as the 50s, early 60s, and Stainless Steel Rat, I think, was late 60s or early 70s, wasn't it? I mean, like, a lot of Harrison's stuff is a reaction to the Golden Age guys. And to sort of the bombast of 50s science fiction. Yeah, but Asimov wrote over 500 books, so... But, like, when you talk about Asimov as an era, it's really the 50s era. Like, he kept writing until he died in the 80s, but... Or 90, whatever it was. But, I've thus far only been using American engines. I feel like if I do an actual tutorial playthrough again, then I'll mix and match. But for now, I'm just using American because I'm trying to actually be a space program, if you will. Like, this is for my enjoyment. Because, dang, those Russian engines are amazing. So, Maximal, I always recommend Charlie Strauss. I haven't read anything of his in the last, like, I don't know, 3-4 years, but he's always a fun read. He's probably my favorite SF author. Yeah, I actually first ran into him before he was an author because I used to frequent the old alternate history news group soc.history.whatif, and he was one of the posters there back a long time ago. That's one of the reasons we have RP-1 actually, because I got into that and then I did the Reach for the Stars setting as an alternate history realism setting for KSP that gave us RPL, which then eventually gave us RP0, which has given us RP1. Yeah, Russian only in engines is easy for cislunar space and hard for translunar space until you finally get some hydrolock stuff on the Russian side. Yeah, he has a bunch of different novel series and some shorts. The series are his original series, which was some sort of post-singularity stuff. Then a series of Lovecraftian horror mixed with math and computer science, which is kind of crazy. And then a parallel universes, alternate history, weird fantasy thing that's basically about what if you wrote a fantasy epic from the perspective of the Dark Lord, which is part of why I love it, because I'm generally vote for like the faceless legions of change in any fantasy setting, which puts me strongly on the side of most Dark Lords. Didn't actually fix the engine. I'm just running it without a test flight profile, given what you said about its reliability. I'm not particularly fussed about the fact it doesn't have a test flight profile. Ooh, yeah, I haven't read him in a bunch of years, so I need to get on that. Yeah, and Badger Master, you can say in chat if I've not done justice to his series. I feel like I've given a decent thumbnail sketch, but you never know. Oh, and there's also the recent, like, there's Saturn's Children, whatever the sequel was to that, and Halting State and Rule 34 and the other near future stuff. Circularization and relative inclination is insanely good. Thanks, PVG. All right, let's simple create in 21 minutes. All right, so right now, So, ugh. This is not the right time to do a lunar launch because we will be landing on the dark side of the moon. And we know how well that went last time. So let's see what we can do to make it better. Yeah, I was not a big fan of Accelerando. All right, so let's see what we can do to try to make this much more better. Come in on that side. Oh, no, we're still... All right. Well, we can hope that we'll have comms then, but we won't. So let's try that. At what point are we likely to lose comms? Oh yeah, also, I need a thing that tells me what biome things are. Because I don't know what biomes these are. Oh, I think MacJeb's landing targeter will tell me. Maybe? Oh, no, I'm not in the SOI, so it won't do it. Yeah, I would really like to get some science for this expedition, rather than just cash. But I feel like... we're unlikely to... Oh, I didn't know he popped up on Reddit. Just read his blog, but... And now, like, the rest of the kids these days, I just follow them on Twitter. What can we do? Because we know this is going to be total blackness. Let's look at what geometry it will be in then, and it will be this, except rotated. So that's probably going to be on the dark side anyway. Maybe I should have just brought lights. I think I have access to lights now. We'll see. Well, we'll just see what we get, I guess. That does not match my experience from the last episode of this. I did not find it easy to see on the dark side. Am I running Planet Shrine? Like, maybe? Right, and we have enough boil off, we don't have to worry about ullage. Okay. Oh yeah. Always forget to do that. Why are we... What is that? That's DOE. I thought I had Planet China in here, but maybe I don't. You know what? Actually, we're gonna... 1, 2, 3. I'm going to assume we are going to overburn by 3 meters per second. Oh yes, meanwhile, let me extend some antennas before I forget, because I can't remember what I action grouped them to. How are we looking? Okay. That's should have comms. I trust. Let's land right in the middle of that, which will probably be lowlands in the same science we had before, but at least it'll be a landing. Yeah, it's the XLR-50, the Vanguard engine, but it's in the X405H configuration, which they were using on an upper for Atlas before they replaced it with a Gina. That looks like a decent trajectory. Ooh, I wonder if we could aim to land right there instead, because that's probably not lowlands. Right there. But it'll be hard to land on because it won't be flat. And we know how well that works. All right. So, right, let's orient for Ooh, if we could rely on that being overhead, but we can't rely on it being overhead. How far away? 4 days, 20 hours. And I don't know what the period of that is. Should have set up. Yeah, Vega. Should have set up some sort of lunar comm network, but that's fine. So I'm going to guess we should do retrofire there. So let's align to that. There we go. Whoa, what you doing? All right, spin up. Yeah, I have the depressing surety that we're going to get the same science as last time, but we'll still net it's about 330,000 funds, so I'm cool with that. This is actually surveyor style, which is to say we shoot it at the moon, we fire a bunch of solids when we're close to the moon, and then we land on liquids for the last little bit. All right, that should be enough. All right, let's go to the moon. Ooh, that's going to be close in terms of comms, isn't it? Yeah, let's dump our velocity right the heck now, then. Oh, we're over the Midlands. We might get lucky. Okay. And there we are. All right, so we still have a little bit to go before we're under the horizon with Earth. But I think here is... come on, I don't want to select you as target. I want to create a maneuver node there. I think here is right about at the... Nope, that's too far. That's probably the limit for comms with Earth. And that's in not a lot of seconds. Oh, you know what I could do? We want a delay of 55 seconds. Oh, no, we want this. Okay. All right. I'm going to miss the flight computer. This is a i7 something, and a 1080. Built it about 2 years ago. $32 gigs of RAM. Lowlands are the seas, I think. But right now we're over the Midlands, which is fine. And we still actually have comms, which is awesome. Because I forgot to stage again. Oh God. That's bad. I forgot to hit enter. Okay. Let's despin. Oh yeah, the C's this right. So I don't know. It's been so long. I don't even really remember the move plans. Somebody suggested despin motors, which I probably should have done, but for now, this is fine. Let's get that angular velocity down. Kill our horizontal velocity. Well, kill most of our horizontal velocity. And we lost comms, but that's okay. Because we have everything we need to land. What is RO expanded? I mean, the answer to that question is no. I'm not running it, but I don't even really know what you mean by what it is. Oops, wrong way. Try to slow down. I'm consistently failing to slow down our surface horizontal speed. Well, we'll correct it. Yeah, sure. Send a link. Do you mean realism expansion? The thing by Phineas Freak? Or are we talking about something else? Then no, because it's for 1.4 point whatever, and this is not 1.4 point whatever. Oh, we actually don't have as much delta V as I thought we might for this, because we braked so high. So we're going to have to do a bit of a suicide burn, I guess. Oh boy, we might not actually have enough delta V to land, because we did the braking so high. Well. Yeah, we're not going to have enough delta V to do it. Because I got scared about comms and did my braking too high. And wasted a lot of delta V early. Yep, we are now at minus 10 meters per second and falling. So we're going to impact probably like 30 meters per second. So I better cut things off until we're right close. 40 meters per second. Oh, this is going to be bad. Don't know what will survive. Oh yes, the Altair. Yeah, because I fired it so high. All right, so I'm just going to take some of that velocity off because I actually want to have fun in this playthrough. Oops. Why is it not? Okay. Oh, because it didn't. Why was it not actually doing anything? That was confusing. And man, I thought I was going to have a good landing this time. Blurg. Game difficulty. Oh, I just wasn't mashing the button as quickly as I thought. Surveyor had a braking stage that was a solid that took off most all the delta V, and it was only the last little bit that it. No, that was not what I wanted to do. That was exactly the same as I did last time. I was combining the stages, and usually when you combine stages, you have to hit space to clear the space. What do you mean by regular landing versus impact landing? I'm confused. Do you mean did it achieve orbit first and then do a deorbit burn and then land? Surveyor was shot directly at the moon, I believe. All right. Let's go ahead and set some stuff up. We are at 200 and, well, let's actually check on the map. Where would be a good place to fire the solids? Probably there. 2 minutes. All right. Let's try that. That's much more better. Yep, that's how it did it. Come on, light them up. Wait, what? Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. We had a failure. That's so perfect. That's ridiculously perfect. I guess this mission was just not meant to be. Ill-fated. They should be next to impossible, but yeah, I don't even want to know what the MTBF is. Actually, I kind of do want to know it, but I'm just going to take that on the chin. We'll just launch another one. Solids almost never fail. I've literally never had an Altair fail in a career. And yes, the failure would be blowing up. I'm sad because I wanted to land there, because that was actually going to give us some science. That was Mite 3, if memory serves. So we'll just launch another Mite 3, and hopefully Mite 3 will work. Contains locked or invalid... Oh, right, because the gravioli thing. All right, let's... All right. So we can't even launch with that. So let's replace it with something light and cheap. All right. Now, 15,879. What are these solar panels? They're ST2. Mass is 0.4 kilograms. How heavy are these? 10 times as heavy. Alright, I guess we'll stay with what we got. Yeah. Well, I had to do 2 stages worth of retro, because I don't have a star whatever, star 37. How borderline are we on weight? That goes up to 0.32, I think. We could increase delta V there, or underload a solid. No, I'll just leave it like it is. And we'll stage like that. And we'll build another one. Blah. What year tech do I have? This is what year tech I have. 1960 orbital rocketry is unlocked. And 1961 orbital rocketry and so forth are currently being researched. And I still have 30 science. I guess I could... Yeah, that's a free upgrade point. There's no point in not doing that. Tempting to get some stage combustion engines. But I've just been doing US engines. Right. How long do we have to do that landing? I think probably a year. Yeah, a year. All right, so we've got time. So 103 days, I think we're doing interplanetary now. Oops. Now I don't know which of the Mite 3s are... Oh, I already had a backup, so we'll leave the backup. All right, so we're looking at 60. About 60 days to complete these things. We have 103 days. We could rush build this and try to do another lunar launch. Yeah, rush building's so expensive now, I just kind of don't want to bother. Yeah, so that was $30 million down the toilet. Let's invest the upgrades. Interesting, I unlocked 2 nodes, but only got 1 point. Okay. How close are we? 62 days away. 40 days. I guess we could try again. Oops, wrong click. I think that's probably the orphans node, but let's find out. This over here? Yeah, orphan parts. Why did that only give me 1 upgrade point despite unlocking both of them? That's so weird. Anyway. Blah, blah. All right, because we're going to want to launch before that window. And how long does it take to roll out? 5 days. It's for parts that don't go in the tree. So you can see that they're what parts need to get put in the tree. Oh, that's right. That has to get completed first. So let's complete both of these, and then we'll see what's going on. All right. So we now have 56 days. We could 45 days, 46 days counting the plane matching. That's 10 days shy of that, which means that we could roll out, like we could try to do 1 more lunar launch right before the interplanetary launches. But I feel like that's pushing it a little bit. So let's see if there's something else we can do meanwhile. It's a 3-year deadline, so that's longer than any reasonable transit time. So We'll accept that. That's fine. And let's just... Yeah, I guess it doesn't... It pains me to run the VAB as effectively idle, but I don't really know what else we have to do. Because we don't... We don't have basic capsules yet. We will shortly, but we don't now. Ah, that's what we can do. So we'll warp. So we'll roll this out so it's ready. And we will warp until basic capsules is ready. And now we will proceed to build a little bit of Mercury testing. Pods. So I'm going to use the Mark 1 pod rather than Mercury. I mean, like, I could just use Mercury, but why not? All right. Mark 1 pod. Now, we are going to build something slightly between Mercury and Gemini. So, what RCS thrust does it have? Let's find out. RCS build aid. Shouldn't you display little thrusty things? All right, I'm pretty sure this thing actually has roll thrusters. But let me refresh. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember what the Mark 1 pod has? Let's see, early overhaul. ROs. So it's squad. Command. Mark 1 pod. All right. So RO adds linear RCS, linear RCS, linear RCS, linear RCS, linear RCS, linear RCS. What positions are those? The rotation, the positions are 0.99 X and Z. All right, so it adds roll thrusters to the model, and it adds modular RCS with those thrusters using peroxide. Yeah, so we have roll thrusters. We're gonna, and somebody probably should make them only work in roll. But it does mean that we need some, so that's fine for reentry. So all we need is a parachute now. Which apparently are all locked. Did I not actually? Oh, because I only ever needed this one. Hey, what should we call this thing? Yes, I have test flight. Why would I not have test flight? It doesn't, like the icon sometimes doesn't show up, but believe you me, I have it. So what should we call this thing? I'm using dogs for launch vehicles and cats for upper stages. Well, dogs for boosters and cats for upper stages. It's using insects for probes. What did I call the... What did I call the thing what sends people up? Might, caterpillar, bumper, number. Oh, bumper atom is what I called it. All right. Why don't we call this Dolphin? Why not? All right. And it's got 1.5 days of life support, which is fine. Actually, do we have tank available? We have a bunch of tank available. But I think we're going to leave the tank available. So let's go ahead and Earth. Make it nice and small because we're going to cover it. Main. Do we really have 200 kilograms of chute? That seems insane. That seems about right. And we're going to switch both of these to manual. Oh, except it doesn't have the right input craft mass. There we are. 1.2 tons. And such that if it changes later, we're fine. All right. Now, everything else I think we can put on the service module. Uh, .5 meters, that seems about right. That seems about right. Auto shape is off. And let's play around with, oh right, we need to add some, no, actually we'll add them outside the tower. That's interstage fairing. Yeah, that's right. No, we don't want to tool it yet. Where's the totally black one? There must be a totally black one in here somewhere. Survey says there is not. All right, auto shape. Extra height. There's a little gap there. All right. Okay. What's going on here? Why do we have that? There we go. That's looking better. Okay. Actually, we'll need you later. For now, and let's put a strut on here, and then set motors. That's a lot of delta V. I don't think we need that much delta V. That's probably enough to abort with. Oops, wrong way. All right, 2-second burn on the abort tower. That's actually, I think we want more like 1.5-second burn on the abort tower. All right. That seems about right. And then we want this to go ahead and 45, be what's used to pull the tower away. And we'll get away with just not using that part, and instead oops, wrong way. I think 0.3 is right. Auto shape off, and we want a sill start right near the end. Okay, that seems reasonable to me. Not a very tall abort tower, but it'll do. All this is from Venstock Revamp. There. Okay, now we can set up the abort groups. Abort. Activate. And then traditionally 5 will how does arm parachute not show up on that list? That's super weird, but it's fine. Decouple. All right. $235 meters per second. That's probably enough abort delta V. Oh, that's from Blue Dog. That's from Ship. That's from FASA. What ones in particular were you wondering about? All right, so this needs to get tooled, I assume. Yeah, that's fine. This needs to get tooled, and it's fairly cheap. And then this needs to get tooled, and it's also fairly cheap. The parachute doesn't have tooling. All right. 3.2 million already. That sounds about right. Rollout cost is going to be, well, happily we can put it on the other pad. We need to build a service module, which involves a proc decoupler. And then an SM2. All right. What's going on here? That. Oh, I am doing this wrong. Right, the abort tower has to separate. Duh. The abort tower has to separate before this thing separates, which is why it gets its own. I knew I was going to put a set motor in there. Right. I was doing that for a reason. Okay. And we actually want to pull it away ever so slightly. And the solid should go here. All right. Now we need one of these things. That makes much more sense. Because now the abort tower properly decouples. How cheap is that? Cheap enough that we're just going to tool it because I don't care. All right. This makes much more sense. You go back on. Now let's look at the staging. This comes down below. We're going to use hydrazine in the service module. For sure. Well, that's an awful lot of delta V. I guess we don't need that much of a service module, really. Six minutes and 30 seconds. I feel like we need... I feel like I will get bored silly if it takes that long. So let's give it a decent main engine. What is our tonnage? 2.2 tons. That's not too bad. Now we need some RCS. We only have crap RCS. Apparently I don't have better quads yet, even though I have better attitude jets. So we'll add these fellers for fine tuning. And they will just do that. And then we'll add another set. I guess at this point we might as well make our own RCS blocks. Also, why is there not a... There should be a flat part. Why is there not a flat part? That's annoying. Alright, so we'll make our own RCS blocks. Snap. Okay. And snap. Okay. And that is not going to work, is it? What can we do with these things? That, I guess. So we'll get some solar power. Now really, these should be angled outwards so it doesn't hit the thing, but whatever. All right, I think what I want to do is 2 of you like that. All right, and that'll at least give us some solar power. Actually, what's our consumption is like a kilowatt, isn't it? Something insane. Yeah. Who made these avionics disableable? That seems weird. That seems very weird. I was not aware that... Wait, is everything disableable now? Surely not. No. Alright, I wonder who decided to make the pod disableable, because the whole point is that it's not supposed to be disabled, so you run out of charge quickly. Well, that's fine. Watch me like look in Git and find it was me. But yeah, that'll actually let us stay in orbit indefinitely. Alright, so we're all good now. We have enough maneuvering delta V. So 150 meters per second for on-orbit maneuvers, 150 meters per second for deorbit burn. Might actually want to bring it out a little bit more, actually, now that I think about it. Because that's, yeah. If we need like 150 to 200 for a retro burn, that doesn't leave a lot for on-orbit maneuvers. And what's our mass like? We're already at 4.766 tons. How did that happen? Is that really that heavy? 339 kilograms. Something's funky here. We're at 1.529 tons, but I think that's wrong because of the... Yeah, let's take the Kerbal out. Yeah, so we had an extra 500 kilos we shouldn't. That looks much better. Right, it's the old mass bug. Okay. That makes so much more sense. .5 tons. Yeah, so we can afford to make this quite a bit larger, because 2 tons to orbit is not bad. So that is a lie. Well, it's not really a lie, but Gemini did have 323 meters per second of maneuvering delta V. It then had another 180 or so in the retrosolids. Gemini had different performance in a bunch of the different missions. Alright, so this is probably fine. So now let's put a launch vehicle under it. And we can probably get away with just the Corgi. Seems likely. So we need an interstage base. How wide is this? This is 2.48, straight 8. Straight 8 shrunk. Kipling. Actually, it's over here. Come on. What the heck? Oh, because I left the avionics ring there. Alright, let's try that again. So, 2.438. Top is 2 meters. Okay. Ooh, there's a little crack there. Okay. So, we need less height. That's looking about right. But we do need some extra height. That's looking just about right. Did I guess right about delta V? Let's find out. Got combined stages. Oops, that's actually correct. But these need to come down here. What are those things? Let's find out. I assume they're the retros on the first stage. They are. Is that engine? That's that. All right. So yes, that's plenty of delta V to get to orbit. Could probably even go polar. Also, we're going to put the appropriate pretty engine in. And we don't actually need all of that. Okay. Okay. We're going to hot stage it. And how do things look now? That's oodles of delta V. All right. What we do need, however, are some retrosolids on this stage. Okay, and they go here. 9,600, 9,700 meters per second. Yeah, so this thing can do polar easily. And that's not even with the MB3-2, which is strictly better. Yeah, we could almost get away. We could almost get away with putting a Thor under this, but not quite. I think we, like, in real life, they needed like a fluorine upper to do it with Thor. All right. All right. So this is our Dolphin stack. What parts are untooled? Are there any untooled parts? Let's find out. Right. Yeah, that's an expensive tooling cost. $20 million to tool that service module. Are we going to fly it 10 times? Probably not. I think it's better to not tool it. However, this thing we are going to tool. Except it is tooled. Why? Oh, because they're two parts. Right. Cheap at the price, we'll just tool those. But I think that SM we're not actually going to tool. We're just going to hand build it every time. Because I really don't think I'm going to be flying 10 of these flights. And that diameter is just not a diameter we're going to use much. I don't think. Yeah, that's just a seriously ridiculous amount of gel speed. So we totally go polar. Okay. So we need to do like a pad abort test. Also, let's make that peaked. So we're going to reach a max of 8.3 Gs on the first stage, which is kind of high, and 6 Gs in the second stage. All right, so let's get to 8.3 Gs with some solids. Yeah, the fact that this is egg-shaped rather than conic is kind of freaky. right. Oh shoot, it's going up the... blah. Is that about right? What is their actual length? Tooling. 2.3 meters. All right, yep, that's correct. A caster. Hey, what happened to stage time? There. So I guess we actually need 2 of these. All right. And then that's approaching correct, actually. Yes, we do need some alcohols. All right, let's try just doing 2. That's a more reasonable. All right, that's a fairly reasonable test for the whole thing. Not what I wanted. Dang, damn it. Oh, you can't. Right. Yeah. I forgot that I used that node, didn't I? All right. Come on. Rotate. One more. There we are. All right. All right, so get rid of these. These become stringers. And top is 2.4. Height 4. Okay. Hey, why did it... What's the point of pinning a part action window if it goes away? That was weird. Okay. And let's give it some fins. What the heck? There we are. Okay. Yes, this is effectively Little Joe. We're going to test our abort tower with it. Seems fairly reasonable to me. And it's dirt cheap. It's only about $1 million. The problem, of course, being that it's completely unguided. So, Lamont, hopefully PVG and MechJeb's attitude controller support movable fins, because that's what we're going to have to do. Because we're not going to have any guidance otherwise. Okay. We do not want much actuation for roll, if memory serves. All right. think we actually want to do that, and then a second later ignite the next thing. And then I think we'll have a reasonable thrust profile. Okay. But that will have to wait because I gotta go. Thanks everybody for watching, and hopefully tomorrow we'll actually get to test this thing if I have time tomorrow. Right. Let's tool this. Nothing. What tooling do we have to worry about? Nothing. Oh, that's cheap. Probably need that at some point. Oh, right, and I have to set up proficiency training for everybody. Then I'll head out. Training. Oh, right, courses. There we are. Proficiency. Mercury. Okay. Everybody going to be proficient. Although they're getting... Edward Jennings is going to retire. Edward Jennings and Ernest Banks have retirement coming up pretty darn soon. So, we'll see. Oh no, it's 58. So that's when they all complete. So they'll, even at minimum, they get about 2 years of Mercury flying. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. See you again soon. Bye-bye.